Welcome back, dear viewers. And now it's time for our second segment for today, and the importance of the national mega projects that were carried in the past few years under the leadership of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. And still, we have many other mega projects that are currently being implemented with a special focus on infrastructure and transportation projects in the field of transportation. And now we are joined over the phone by Engineer Ahmed Othman. He is an economic expert. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
So, as I've just mentioned, that we have seen now mega projects carried out in different sectors in the country. If we talk about the construction of new roads and the upgrading of the transportation system, they are considered one of the important mega projects carried out. To what extent they will contribute to sustainable development?
I believe what we witnessed in Egypt in the last 6 to 7 years is unprecedented in the field of upgrades of infrastructure,
yes,
electricity, renewable energy, and obviously transportation. The construction of new cities has helped a lot in creating a lot of jobs and also in the disbursement of wealth throughout the country, which has really contributed to the sustainable development of the local economy of different regions of Egypt.
Yes.
We are seeing a lot of investment in transportation. Our road network has doubled in length over the last 7 to 8 years. We are seeing new projects in railways, in monorail, and we are also seeing the first upgrade of the railway sector in Egypt for over 60 years. So this has really helped a lot in develop these sectors and has grown the GDP contribution of these sectors in the economy.
Yes. So, sir, to what extent these national mega projects contribute to reducing unemployment rates in Egypt?
As we mentioned earlier, well, basically these are labor-intensive job sectors. Infrastructure, roads, construction and building materials are very labor intensive. They create a lot of jobs. We have seen a lot of mobility of the labor in the different new cities being constructed, and this has been very favorable in reducing unemployment rate, which has hit a record low in the last month.
Yes.
Obviously, with the construction of renewable energy projects such as Bimban and Aswan, we have also seen a lot of a drop in unemployment in the south of Egypt, which is very important because normally the south was the source of mobility of labor to the capital in Egypt, in Cairo in general. So now the creation of these projects on the local level has reduced the mobility of labor and dropped the unemployment rate to a really historic low, and we are seeing in the last 2 to 3 months.
Yes. So also, Mr. Othman, the country is focusing on small and medium-sized enterprises. How do you see the importance of these projects in economic reform program?
SMEs contribute to any economy, especially Egypt and other similar developed countries. They contribute to 90% of the companies in these sectors.
Yes.
Obviously, the huge mega national projects have had a knock-on effect on the small and medium enterprises in the different sectors. We have seen witnessed it in the tech construction sector, in the real estate sector, and in the infrastructure sector. So I think these projects have developed greatly. We've seen a number of SMEs in Egypt in these sectors grow dramatically in the last 5 to 6 years. And I think the government's plan of supporting SMEs with the creation of the correct investment planning and the correct laws has helped a lot in the enhancement of the SME sector in Egypt in general.
Yes. And regarding the economic impact of the new Suez Canal area development project on Egypt's economy, to what extent this mega project turned the region into an innovative, integrated, value-added services center with an international reach?
I think what we have seen in the development of the Suez Canal economic zone is really creating the correct infrastructure for multinational investment to pour in and have a correct industrial base for these companies in Egypt and as a gateway to Africa. Obviously, there is a lot of work still to be done on, the industrial file in general, on enhancing our number of factories and industrial facilities, on increasing our exports. But hopefully, with the recent devaluation which happened to the Egyptian pound, it will make our products in terms of exporting more competitive and will encourage a lot of investments in the industrial sector, whether in the Suez Canal or in other regions of Egypt.
Yes, actually, we were watching a report on the country's efforts to attract foreign investments in the coming period and introducing new incentives for investors and upgrading Egypt's energy strategy to include green hydrogen. To what extent this will help in attracting more investors in the coming period, as this was mentioned by Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli earlier?
I think it's a very difficult time. The world has gone through the COVID-19 pandemic, and now we have the Russia-Ukraine war. And this makes a lot of the decision making in terms of foreign direct investments in Egypt and in other countries become a lot slower. However, we're seeing a lot of effort from the sovereign fund of Egypt in the last year to attract a lot of foreign direct investments in different areas such as infrastructure, green hydrogen, hospitality and tourism, real estate, and others. So I think having an organization such as the Sovereign Fund of Egypt is a very good, representative ambassador to attracting foreign investors to the country, because basically this organization speaks the language of foreign investors, and they are, very capable of attracting the correct investors to our country.
Yes. Also, the establishment of fourth generation cities and new cities all around the country is also one of the important mega projects held under the leadership of the President to solve the problem of population, as we have seen that there is overpopulated areas and we need to spread the population over wider areas in the country. So how do you see the importance of these fourth generation cities?
We all know that as Egyptians we were living on only 6% of our land.
Yes.
And I think building the fourth generation cities in Alamein, in the new capital and other areas, New Mansoura, etc., will help decrease the density of Egyptians. It will spread our living, our industrial base, our production capacity. It will, make a lot of businesses tap into natural resources in different areas of the country. And most importantly, it is very important for our national security that we live all around the country and we have these different, settlements of Egyptians all around Egypt. So I believe these fourth generation cities are a must. We should see a lot more of them in the coming future. And they are basically the future of, our children and grandchildren to live, the decent life all of Egyptians are looking for.
Yes. Also, sir, how do you see challenges facing Egypt's economy today, as we have seen that there is a global economic crisis? How do you evaluate the government efforts to face this crisis?
I think, the government has done all what it can do to face these challenges, whether through the COVID-19 pandemic or now the Russia-Ukraine war.
Yes, true.
I think what we need a lot of focus on is to increase our industrial footprint and export more. This is the file the government really needs to put in a lot of effort and work on in the coming period, because this will basically contribute to the sustainable development of our economy.
Yes. I'd like to thank you, Mr. Ahmad Othman, economic expert. Thank you for being with us, and give viewers a short break and we'll be back, so stay tuned.